So the word personality comes from a Latin word persona. So the persona means, persona refers to basically, there were many theatrical artists in Latin space. They used to wear a theatrical mask. Those theatrical masks used to be put on to hide their identity, to conceal their identity, or maybe to disguise as somebody else and play different roles. So that this particular word personality has come from persona. So that means what you are able to show to the world, what people talk about you on those characteristics. So it's from there that this particular word has come up. Although there are very different definitions of personality, but the most focused one is the pattern of behaviors and characteristics. Fine. And this particular pattern of behavior and characteristics help us to understand and predict that how a person is going to behave in a particular situation. So that's the purpose of understanding personality and its traits. Fine. So traits mostly are the personality characteristics. It's a very small, minute, unique characteristic. Every individual have unique characteristics or traits which combinedly together make an overall personality. Fine. So a trait can be thought of like a relatively stable characteristic that any individual, which make any individual to behave in a particular way. Fine. So like when we say a person is very outgoing, is very kind, is even tempered, is very nice looking, or whatever, those are the traits which define that particular personality. So these are the trait, and there are three levels of trait. The first one is the cardinal traits. The cardinal traits are basically fundamental traits. They exist in that person and they make that person like to be defined that way. These are the very dominant traits. In all other levels of trait, cardinal traits are fundamental, they are dominant, and usually they are developed in later part of the life. They do not exist from the childhood. They are acquired from the nature. They are acquired when you are getting nurtured. So when you are getting nurtured, you acquire a lot of traits from the environment in which you are living, in which you are growing. So these are basically fundamental traits, cardinal traits. So some examples like this person have Gandhian values. This person is narcissistic, okay, is a very principled person. You might be, this is a very brave person. You might be hearing a lot of things about a particular person, and that person gets defined by those cardinal traits. We normally talk about the people based on the cardinal traits. We identify them through those cardinal traits. So every individual have those cardinal traits. We may be like, you must be remembering when we talk about our friends, our relatives, our known people, our neighbors, anybody in society, we talk about those people through their cardinal traits. So if we say that Shahid Bhagat Singh was the most patriotic person, that patriotism is his cardinal trait. He must be having so many other traits in his personality, but we define him with those cardinal traits, right? So that is what cardinal traits are.